A new member of Congress is accused of floating a conspiracy theory about Senator Lindsey Graham. And the number of families at the border that have been separated may have been much higher than previously reported.
Team Rising is here to make sense of it all. We have Raheem Kassam. He's former editor-in-chief of Breitbart London, author of No-Go Zones. And Duvalier Malone is a political commentator whose work has been featured in USA Today, ABC, and News One. He's the author of Those Who Give a Damn, a manual for making a difference. Perfect book for today because you've got a table full of people who do, in fact, give a damn. Raheem, I'll start with you because I found this exchange yesterday on CNN involving new Representative Ilhan Omar. Very interesting. So she had tweeted out that Lindsey Graham has been compromised.
Sure.
They've got him. He's compromised. That was the actual tweet. And then she was asked about it on CNN, and she went into a long discourse about whether we actually have it.
I am pretty sure that there is something happening with him, whether it is something that has to do with his funding when it comes to running for office, whether it has something to do with the polling that they might have in his district, or whether it has to do with some sort of leadership within the Senate. He is somehow compromised to no longer stand up for the truth and to make sure that he is fighting to protect the oath that he took in serving the American people.
So that is our Hill TV, actually. The CNN pressed him as well on this one. And Raheem, I mean, there are rumors out there that Lindsey Graham is, in fact, a closeted gay person. That's the rumor that has been floating around for quite some time.
Yep.
He's compromised. They've got him. People took that as why. And there are rumors that people are spreading right now about that. Was this enough of a walk back or walk away or a refutation?
It was completely incoherent, but you're seeing a lot of incoherency around the new intake of Congress people, unfortunately. Look, I find it particularly galling that someone like Ilhan Omar, who has come to Congress standing side by side with people like Rashida Tlaib and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, are now throwing around conspiracy theories like this. They ran on the idea of they were the target of conspiracy theories, right, throughout their elections. And now they're in Congress, they're actually doing it back in the same way. Now, it's 2019.
Wait, but they ran on being...
They ran on being targets of conspiracy theories. They made points throughout their campaigns that they were being targeted by the right-wing media for conspiracy theories surrounding their heritage in Islam, surrounding their backgrounds, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's wealth growing up, all of these things they used as campaigning talking points to fire back at the right-wing media. Now they're throwing conspiracy theories around themselves. So firstly, they're hypocrites. But secondly, the point here is it's 2019, right? Nobody's in the closet like that anymore. You can't shame people about being gay like that anymore. I know Lindsey Graham. I've met him. The reason that he's changed his mind on so many things is not because he's secretly gay and that the Republicans are holding it over his head. This is what these guys are getting at here. Don't forget, Chelsea Handler floated this conspiracy theory about a year ago as well. The reason he's changed his mind is because he's listened to common sense and he's seen the way the Democrats are comporting themselves, and he knows that you have to fight fire with fire in that building. You can't go in there like his old buddy John McCain did and try and compromise his way out of this situation. It's not going to happen.
So when we look at this, I honestly, for Representative Omar there, we got to look at the big picture. The government is shut down. And as a gay man from Mississippi, I don't think we should play around with making rumors about whether people are gay or not. Everybody has a journey. If he's gay, that's his journey, that's his right whenever he comes out, if he doesn't even ever come out. But the bigger picture is it's time for us to get to work. It's time for us to open up the government. It's time for us to make some common sense laws. When it comes to Senator Graham, I do believe that he's changed. But that is what the Republican Party is about.
This is also what politicians do. They change their minds on things all the time. And by the way, for reasons that actually are shady, not for rumors that aren't true, that wouldn't even be a problem if they were true, by the way.
Exactly. So the bigger picture is, where do we stand? Where does Senator Graham stands in his district? I don't believe he will win a re-election.
But this is important. I mean, did you think that Omar, the Congresswoman Omar here, was alluding to these rumors about Lindsey Graham's sexuality? Did you agree? Did you agree with that? Because there was some contention yesterday. People were saying, well, she didn't say it. Did you take it as being insinuated?
She did not say it. She did not say it.
That's not.
We said it more at this table than she
But
said
the question is she?
Well, there are a lot of things that President Trump doesn't say, but yet he's held to account for them as
like,
well.
There are a lot of things he does say. He's not held to account for. There's a lot of talk about dog
well, that's
whistles.
true as well.
But just was it being insinuated?
It's a lot of things that can be. It's all about point of view. I don't.
I'm asking you from your perspective. Was it being insinuated?
From my perspective, no.
All right.
So here's my question. I think there is a transition for people who have come from being activists and outsiders, not professional politicians, to being inside and having government responsibility and leadership. Do we give these representatives any room for that kind of growth, or are we going to hold them accountable the same way we would somebody who's been here 20 years?
We're going to hold them accountable because they made a promise to their district. They made a promise to the people of their district, and they have to come in and they have to hit the ground running. And so that's why, as good leaders, you surround yourself by people who can help you. We do know that a lot of our senators and congressmen on the Hill, they're good leaders because they surround themselves by very smart people. And so that's what they need to do. They need to come in, surround themselves by very smart people. And look at the issues in which they ran off, and let's get outside of this media. Everybody is so media hungry these days. Let's talk about the policies. The government is closed. We have immigration. We have.
Well, we're going to get to. We're going to talk about the policy.
Let's talk about the policy right now.
That's the plan.
Yes.
But I will say, Raheem, I don't think that a white Republican male member of Congress would get away easily with saying that the state of Israel had hypnotized the world.
Right. I mean, no. I don't think anybody on the right would get away with making implications like that.
By the way, Steve King got away with this kind of stuff.
No, he did not. He just got.
No, hold on. Let me finish my statement. He got away with this kind of stuff for a long time before people finally got enough and went after him.
No. He was held to account by the Mediaites and the Media Matters and all these. This week. I will get you 3,000 examples after this show in 10 minutes.
Was he held to account by the Republican leadership in Congress?
Absolutely. They were always telling Steve King to shut up. Just ask Steve King.
So why is this the first year that he lost his
It's the first year you're paying attention to it.
No, the first year
he's losing his committee assignments.
So
because his party has now recognised that he said something way beyond the pale, right? And that's perfectly fair to them to revoke the committee assignments before. But when you're saying things that are just out there and they're not beyond the pale, and he's getting a slap across the wrist, he's held to account time after time.
He's saying in the past the punishment.
And by the way, re-elected after re-elected after re-elected.
I promised you policy. I promised you policy. And so let's get to policy for a moment here. So family separation numbers, it turns out family separation numbers are a bit higher than was previously thought. Now, this is obviously very, very contentious. New York Times reports that the Trump administration most likely separated thousands more children from their parents at the southern border than was previously believed. Before the administration officially unveiled their zero-tolerance policy, the staff of DHS took care of children in federal custody. As of December, they had identified 2,737 children who were separated from their parents under the policy. Thousands may have been separated during an influx in 2017, it turns out, Raheem. So essentially here, more people separated the border. Trump administration changed this policy. What do you make of it?
I am shocked that government gets statistics wrong. It's never happened before. You know, I think we all knew when this story was breaking that the full extent of both the statistical and the humanitarian issues were not fully known at the time on the border. And I don't think they'll fully be known for another 2, 3, 4 years after investigations into this keep going on and going ahead. But the truth of the matter is the entire situation on the southern border is regrettable, right? You've got a situation where these children are coming across sometimes with their families and sometimes not, right? And to put a stop to that, the thing that would put a stop to that, which is having refugee or asylum processing either outside of the contiguous United States or on the border at particular points, is being opposed by Democrats in Congress. The idea of border security is being opposed. And border security,
that's not true.
The idea of border security isn't just building a wall. The idea of border security is having points of processing for these people, right?
But you're saying things that just aren't true. Democrats
tell me what's untrue.
Democrats are for border security. Democrats are for more drones. They're for increasing the border patrol. They're for hardening the ports of entry. They're for all those things. They're just not for this asinine wall.
Asinine wall that border security themselves want. You're calling the opinion of border security asinine.
Yeah. I don't get the question.
I mean, I did just spend the week at the fence. It works. Border Patrol wants it. There's no question. There's a 90% reduction.
There's not a problem whether or not we have hard barriers at certain points along the border. That's not the question. The question is, are we going to build a 2,000-mile concrete structure that's 10 feet high?
Nobody's calling for that.
Donald Trump said, nobody builds walls better than me. I want a big, beautiful concrete wall.
It's called campaign rhetoric, right?
So we should only believe the president when he says
whether
we
it's
should
a
believe
barrier or a wall is. I mean, this is semantics. I mean, it's a barrier.
That's
It's a
that's a legitimate conversation. No, you stop.
Guantanamo Bay. We're going to close Guantanamo Bay, and that never happened. That was campaign rhetoric, right?
There's a legitimate.
I'm your guest. Treat me like one.
I have. Trust me. There's a legitimate conversation about the policy that it is that we're going to have. The question then becomes, though, the president said something that he is now not holding to, and he is holding 800,000 people hostage to that campaign rhetoric. So let's have a conversation about border security. But that's not what the president's doing.
Well,
absolutely.
I mean, I think that is. I don't know. I mean, the president's trying to focus on border security.
America is having its greatest ever conversation about border security now because of this man.
I mean, so there are a lot of points being brought up here. Family separation is one area where the Trump administration has changed their policy based on a public outcry. Border Patrol said they didn't like this either. The optics of this were bad. But they were doing it because people are gaming the system. That is 100% happening. People are lying to Border Patrol. They're lying to federal agents. They want to get to the front of the immigration line, and they're doing it by showing up as a family unit. If you want to de-incentivize that, you have to do something. So I guess I just raised the question. Do you think Democrats really do want to stop people from showing up at the border with children and saying, I have to come to your country because I'm fleeing violence, even if they're not fleeing violence? Do they want that to stop? Because if they don't want it to stop, they should make that case and stop pretending they want it to stop.
So I believe that Democrats want to have a common sense immigration reform law that makes common sense. And when we look at the President of the United States, let's not detour from this issue. The President is making promises that he made on the campaign trail. Those promises are the wall. Those promises are to keep people of brown descent from coming into this country. Let's talk about the real issue here. So Democrats it has been on the agenda for Democrats for years for immigration. Immigration has not just been something that just came up with Donald Trump, but what Donald Trump have done is he has ignited a fire of racism in this country. The bigger issue of immigration is to keep people of brown color out of this country. That is the bigger issue. When you see him at his rallies, when you see him across the country, he is igniting a fire. And so that
most brown people coming into the United States through the southern border.
And that's the point. So why are we building a wall?
Well, so that is the point. So your point doesn't make sense.
So the point is here with his wall, that is a allusion to his base, because most people who are coming in through airports.
Should we
and they're
stop?
overstaying visas.
Right.
Should we stop people? And by the way, some of them are not families. They're just people that happen to borrow someone's child. Again, I just was speaking to Border Patrol about this in the last 3 days. Should we be stopping families, or should we just say, just come?
If they're illegally coming into this country, we should stop them. But we also should have a common sense plan in place to ensure that we do right by those people. Even if they're coming in illegally, what is the right? We should not treat people as if they're less than human.
We only have time for kind of a lightning round on this one because we're going to run to a break here in a second. But Raheem, the Buzzfeed news story. Should Trump be worried about this one?
I think Trump should be worried about anything Michael Cohen says. Michael Cohen is basically a convicted liar now, and Buzzfeed is using that as a source for a story about a prospective tower in Russia. Let me put it this way. If I go up to a girl on the street and I ask for a number, she gives me a number, that doesn't make her my wife. If Donald Trump's organization goes and pitches a building in Russia, that doesn't make him in business with Russia, right?
What about if he lies about that building?
Well, that's what we'll find out. And we're not going to find out just yet. We're going to find out, what is it, March the 7th or whatever, where the testimony comes in, and then you'll have the whole back and forth. But this BuzzFeed story doesn't seem particularly coherent to me.
Did Donald Trump suborn perjury by trying to get Michael Cohen to lie to Congress?
We're going to have some evidence. I do.
Yes.
One of the things that we got to look at is, as much as we know the president lies, that is very clear, but he doesn't use email. He doesn't use text message. So it's going to have to be some evidence. But I do believe that the Buzz story is credible because the president has a record of lying.
A fantastic all-bro panel today. All dudes. Gentlemen, You were wonderful as always. Thank you so much.
thank
Coming
you.
up, we cover both the anthem of the government shutdown.
And Cardi B. She's got strong thoughts on that shutdown. The
Thoughts.
rising continues.
For